Hi there, I'm Snehi Shah. Let's talk markets and let's understand what's been happening with the markets. Let's simplify the fall that we're seeing recently in the markets as well. Now, as markets continue to be weak, investors are hoping for some uptick when it comes to the Nifty 50 or the markets in general. However, amid a falling market, there is one index that has been spiking and continues to spike over the last few days. But however, a spike in this index does not play out positively for the markets. I'm referring to the India VIX or the India Volatility Index. Now, this index has been spiking continuously over the last 12 or so sessions, and to make sense of why it's going up in the first place and what impact and what effect this could have on investors and the stock market in general, I'm now being joined by Sudeep Shah, DVP Head Technical and Derivative Research at SBI Securities. Sudeep, hi, thanks for taking the time out and joining us today. Help us understand what's been causing this uptick when it comes to VIX. It's been advancing for the last 12 consecutive sessions. It's almost up 100% in the last 15 days. Why such a rally all of a sudden? Is it because of geopolitical pressures? Is it because of the elections? Help us understand.
Good afternoon, Snehi. See, the basic issue in VIX is if you see the volatility index, which has risen from the lows of say 8.5, 9 to almost now 21.4, which is almost a staggering 113%. Now, the main reason why we have seen the rise in volatility is the apprehensions with respect to the results which could be announced in June for the general elections and with the kind of voter turnout that we have seen in the first three phases, which is a slightly tad bit lower than the previous elections. And as we are approaching the result dates, we are seeing some kind of nervousness into the market participants. And that is the reason we are seeing selling pressure into the markets. And the result, there is this volatility which has risen. And one more angle to this rise in volatility is that this ahead of the election results and amidst this ongoing process of the election, what happens is that a lot of people who are sitting on profits would tend to hedge their positions and they'll try to buy more and more put options. So this will bring the IVs in puts a bit more higher, and that is the reason the resultant pressure on the markets and the rise in VIX.
Right, so they've also help us understand why a rise in VIX is faring so badly for the markets. What exactly does it mean for individual investors as well?
See, for individual investors, if you see for traders, this would mean a lot of price fluctuation, and this also potentially signals a more cautious approach that is required from the market participants' perspective. Although it will give more opportunities to traders to make money if they are option traders or if they know how to play the volatility well, but not all traders know how to do that. So generally, what happens is that if a trader does not follow appropriate risk mitigation principles, then they generally tend to be on the losing end. But from an investor standpoint, this rise in VIX could act up, as a very good opportunity because in such times you would see the mispricing in stocks happen. You see some kind of selling pressure into the stocks overall, and whatever stocks are there on your list, which are fundamentally strong and they are coming to a proper pricing to their support zone, I feel investors generally tend to look up to these opportunities to lap up those stocks at lower levels, thereby giving them a good entry point.
All right, and now Sudeep, also help us understand what's the road ahead when it comes to VIX. Are you penciling in some respite when it comes to this index, or can we hold off all of those hopes until after the election?
Sneh, for that, see, one thing we need to understand what are the charts saying. Now, if you see February 2022, VIX had made a high of somewhere closer to 34 levels, 33.97 to be precise. And in May 2023, it had made a low of 8.18. If we see the Fibonacci retracement, today's high of 21.4 is exactly the 50% retracement of the entire fall. And that is the reason we are seeing from today's high from 21.48, we have seen some retracement, some respite, cool off in VIX up to 20.6 levels currently. Despite that, it is still 110% up. I feel VIX could consolidate here for the next few sessions between 17 and a half and 21, 21.5. But eventually, till the time 17 is not breached on the downside, 17 levels on the downside, we feel the volatility index can spike up further up to 24 and 28 levels. Now, this was the similar kind of action that was witnessed in the November, in the May 2019 elections also, and in the May 2014 elections also. So prior to the election results, say 3 to 4 weeks prior to that, we generally see this kind of a spike up in VIX, and we see a lot of heightened volatile action among stocks and indices.
All right, Sudeep, and my last question to you is, let's just hope the VIX does not go up to 24 and 28 levels. But would you say that 17 is a comfortable level for VIX? Once it reaches that 17 level, we can take a little bit of a breather when it comes to the tension and the volatility that we've been seeing when it comes to the stock market right now?
See, last uh, 10 to 12 months, every time VIX was approaching 14 or 16 levels, it was kind of resisting from those higher levels. But now, if you see the entire move on the from the lower levels to 21 currently, I feel 17 is a proper retracement level, below which if VIX falls, you'd see it going back in that old range of 13, 14 levels. But I don't see that happening till the time election results are out. And generally, post the election results, you would see a big crush in the volatility. So even if it goes to 24, 28, we might have a torrid, say, couple of weeks kind of time period till that election results come. And if they are on expected lines, you immediately in the next 3, 4 days, you would see the VIX normalizing back from the say 25, 27 levels back to the 13, 15 levels that we were seeing in the previous few months. So I feel it's okay ahead of the uh, event. You see the volatility rising, but post event, I expect it to settle down back in that range of 13, 15 levels.
All right, well, 13 to 15 is where we're hoping for VIX to settle as of now. Sudeep, thanks so much for taking the time out, joining us, and explaining our viewers why this why the spike in VIX is happening in the first place and what this could mean. Thanks so much, Sudeep, for joining us. And viewers, we hope with this it was easier for you to understand what's causing the spike in VIX and what's the road ahead. Thanks so much for watching.